A miserly husband. The man who loved money more than family. In the Broyan village of Ndefe lived a man named Chinedu with his wife and children. He was a man known throughout his village, not for his kindness, but for his relentless stinginess and quarrelsome nature. He argued with everyone, neighbor, friends, and even his own family. His wife, Ifeoma, and their three children could do nothing to please him. Chinedu's heart was as hard as the money he saved, never spending a kobo on his family or anyone else. Chinedu's farm was his pride and joy. Every harvest season, he would sell his produce at the market, returning home with a large profit that he would quickly stash away in a secret place. The villagers whispered about Chinedu's hidden fortune, but no one knew where he kept it. Even his own wife had no idea. Chinedu was determined to keep his wealth for himself, not sparing a single coin for his family's needs. Anytime his wife asked his money for something, his answers remained the same. Forget about it. I don't have money. My husband, look at me and your children. We have to put on torn clothes. We are almost naked. We need to buy new clothes and shoes. Give me some money to get new stuff at the market. Always the answer was, you better repair the old one. She was used to these unfair answers, so decided to manage she decided to manage without him. She was now used to raise her children by herself, handling the problem. One day, Chinedu fell seriously ill. At first, he dismissed the sickness, refusing to see a doctor because he was scared of spending his hard earned money. He asked his wife to make natural potions with bags and herb to ease himself, expecting that he would get soon better. But as they went on, the illness got worse. His wife and brothers finally convinced him to go to the hospital. The journey was long, and every step felt like a stab in Chinedu's miserly heart. The journey was long, and every step felt like a stab in Chinedu's miserly heart. At the hospital, doctors did everything they could with the very little money the family had. The doctor checked his condition and gave a grim look. Chinedu, the doctor said, you should go to a better hospital in town where more can be done to help you. Here we have very little to improve your condition. We need to take it seriously. But let me tell you that you will still need money to pay the treatment there in town. Or instead, you have to return home, pray, and make peace with your family. Chinedu's heart sank, not at the thought of death, but at the fear that his secret treasure might fall into someone else's hands. He was determined not to let that happen. As he returned to the village with Ifeoma, he grew more and more paranoid. His wife noticed his anxiety in his eyes and asked him what troubled him so. Chinedu, please tell me where you've hidden your money, she pleaded. We need money to take you to a better hospital, and it's very expensive. If something bad happens to you, we need to know how to take care of ourselves. Forget about my money. Forget about my money. I can see your true colors, always asking questions about my money. Go find some healing herbs and make a potion for me instead. In a fit of madness, he decided to burn the papers that held the details of his bank account. He could barely stand, but he gathered enough strength to crawl to his hiding place. There, with trembling hands, he set fire on the papers, watching as the flames devoured the last link of his wealth. A twisted smile crept in onto his face. I will die with my money. No one will ever get it, he thought. But fate had other plans. As the day passed, Chinedu's health began to improve. Slowly, he regained his strength. The villagers were astonished, and Ifeoma, his wife, and the children thanked the heaven for his recovery. But Chinedu's relief was short-lived. When he finally returned to his senses, the gravity of his actions hit him like a thunderbolt. The papers, the only proof of his fortune, were gone, reduced to ashes. He rushed to the bank, hoping against hope that something could be done, but the bank manager only shook his head. Without the documents, there were no way to access the money. Chinedu returned home, defeated and broken. The realization of his folly crushed him. His treasure was lost forever, and now he had nothing, no money, no sympathy, no love. He sat in the corner of his hut, his eyes filled with tears as the weight of his greed pressed down on him like a boulder. The very thing he had tried so desperately to protect had slipped through his fingers, leaving him with nothing but regret. As he looked around at his humble home, he saw his wife and children, his true treasure, staring back at him with a mixture of sadness and pity.
But Chinedu's relief was short-lived. When he finally returned to his senses, the gravity of his actions hit him like a thunderbolt. The papers, the only proof of his fortune, were gone, reduced to ashes. He rushed to the bank, hoping against hope that something could be done. But the bank manager only shook his head. Without a document, there was no way to access the money. Chinedu returned home, defeated and broken. The realization of his folly crushed him. His treasure was lost forever, and now he had nothing. No money, no sympathy, no love. He sat in the corner of his hut, his eyes filled with tears as he weight of his greed pressed. For the first time in his life, Chinedu understood the cost of his stinginess. But it was too late. His fortune was gone, and with it, the years he had wasted in hard work, the love he had lost, and the family he had neglected. Finally, his woman, Ifeoma, left him and went back to her native village with children. Chinedu spent the rest of his life alone and in sorrow, regretting his action. He was now a shadow. He was now the shadow of himself. The villagers no longer feared him or envied him. Instead, they looked at him as a miserable and nasty man. Instead, they looked at him as a miserable and wicked man. The man who had saved his wealth so jealously now had nothing to show for it. His life was a lesson, a cautionary tale for those who valued money over love. And for Chinedu, it was a lesson learned too late.